I took too much. Yeah. Hey. Are we even here right now? My hair is you're there. You're there is my hair. This is weird. Yeah.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just, I'm counting up. Oh, fuck. I just misspelled something. I'm not even gonna do a retake. That was fucking stupid. So, I'm just counting up receipts while I'm making this video, because it's tax time and I'm getting fucked on the federal level now. I'm fighting the power. I'm gonna show up with fucking receipts for the shampoo that I buy to wash my hair to get to work. They don't know what's coming. That's not the point of this video. I'm here to expand on my first story that I did on the channel. It's actually the longest one I've ever done, but it gets even longer. I only told the story of that night. The next day was a whole nother thing. I do recommend you watch that video before this one, even though it's a half hour. It just all plays into this. I was on vacation with my friends. We all had our own cabin in the woods kind of idea. It was a nice ass house. I wasn't planning to, but I tried LSD there. That's what the last video is about in this story. That one ends towards the end of the night, and I'm like, holy shit, I made it. I can't believe it. Happy ending. Cool. But it's not like the high turned off after like morning came, you know? I was still frying well into the afternoon. I didn't sleep at all, and we had planned to go to a nearby amusement park. This was all pre-planned like days in advance. So I'm just sitting in the living room looking at sun rays that are coming through the window. People start waking up, coming out of the rooms. Alarms start going off, all that stuff. One of the people that was taking it with me, I'm gonna name him Chris. Chris had a class the next day after he was tripping, and he wanted to wake up. And we were like, dude, you're not going to be able to sleep in the first place, so don't even worry about missing alarms or anything like that. He actually knocked the fuck out. Slept for like 3-4 hours, and his alarm started going off underneath him, and it didn't wake him up, and it was vibrating, and it was the loudest thing in the house, and he still wouldn't wake up. I can't believe he slept that good. That's crazy. Some motherfuckers can just sleep anywhere, any position, anytime. Yeah, they're all waking up. Everybody's like, holy shit, I can't believe you guys did acid last night and this and that, and like, how was it? And I'm like, dude, there is no how was it. It's still going. It's how's it going. Chris, who slept, he pretty much shook it off after he slept and woke up. Everybody else got rest too. I didn't. I was literally just sitting there on our back porch, or our front porch. The same one that Alex threw up off of. And there was literally throw up still over the side from the night before. We didn't clean it up, and I would just be chain smoking joints and sitting there looking at the trees around me, because I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when a game glitches out. I know I'm just hitting the gamer references. It's like in a game when it gets all fucked up because your PC is shit or your Xbox is slow or whatever, and the texture's kind of like smoothing out and it looks like literally like shapes. The trees around me, like all the leaves were like triangles and shit. It was weird. And then a dude who was staying there at the house with us, he woke up and started chilling with me. We're gonna call him Ron. And Ron did a wake and bake. He just chilled and he was interviewing me about the experience. And he was like, so you're still feeling it? I'm like, yeah, totally. And he's like, what are you seeing right now? And I'm like, you know when in Family Guy there's an animation error and the artist draws their eyes over their hair and it just looks fucking off? It's like that, but in real life right now. He was like, oh, word. After we're done smoking and stuff, I come inside and more people are up. They all got up and like started moving around the house while we were outside on the deck. And we all started getting ready because it's almost time to go to a theme park. I'm still tripping. I'm freaking the fuck out inside because I know it's about to be intense and I know it's hot as fuck outside. We picked one of the hottest days to do this and I don't know why. I feel like a fucking grown-up, but at the same time, I just wore sweatpants to my tax appointment. So yeah, it's time for me to get ready. I still got a shower because I wasn't thinking about showering when like the whole world was upside down the other night. I was sweating my ass off, like I was disgusting. So I hopped in the shower and I have no idea how long I was in there. They were like, yeah, we'll check and see. Not in the shower obviously, but we'll like knock and see if you like fell and passed out and hit your head or something. I was like, oh, facts, good luck. And then it ended up being fine, but I was staring in there and the fucking tiles were rotating. This shit was crazy. Like, it was so crazy. Hearing the water echo off the walls, it was like, I don't even know. But yeah, I finished showering and I got ready and we were off. Alex brought his dad's van, so we were able to fit everybody in one vehicle. That shit was fun. It was a pretty long drive and everybody was like baffled that I was still tripping. The person who gave me the shit, I may have named him John. I think I did. Either way, I'll name him John for this. The guy that I got it from, like that brought the shit, he was pretty fucking worried because he thought he broke me. There were definitely a couple moments where he was looking at me and you could just fucking hear the cracking. My psyche was fucking on the fritz. And even though he was also tripping, he's more experienced, so he was handling himself better. He was like kind of like keeping an eye on me without telling me. He was just kind of in the same room as me all the time. I appreciate that. But yeah, we're driving. It was really weird, the visual that I got. As we were going down, they were like, oh yeah, Nick's still tripping this and that. What do you, like what, are you tripping hard? And I'm like, no, not really. And I looked out the window and inside of the car, it was normal, complete normal, as if you're just sitting in a car sober. Outside of the car, it was like the camera was doing the GTA drunk thing where it's like swaying back and forth and shit. And I was like, we're driving straight. We're not hitting bumps. Yeah, I'm fucking fried still. I told them that. They were like, holy shit. Glad I'm not you. And I'm like, it's not too bad, but like, yeah, it's a little bit weird. Just a tad. Thank God I don't, like, I knew about HPPD, I think it is, but I wasn't thinking of it at the time, because if I did, I'd be like, yeah, I just fucked my brain. We're on the way and we get there. We park kind of far away and we gotta walk. I was gonna say a mile, but it's more like 3/4. And halfway through, I'm like, this is gonna suck. This whole, like, visit is gonna suck. It's literally 105 fucking degrees. It wasn't 105, but it felt like 105 degrees. I had that back sweat, the circle on my back before I even got into the park. We're standing in line trying to get our passes, and it's a long fucking line. Like, it looks like a concert, and it's a line. It's fucked. It was so hot that day, and everybody knows amusement parks. They're fucking cheapskates. They were giving out free water. Like, they were just going around with carts giving out free water to everybody. That's how hot it was. We get our passes. It's like fucking $50 or whatever for the day. We're like, oh, it's worth it. We'll come back. And because there's an amusement park that's from the same like chain or whatever in my town. So we were like, yeah, we'll buy the pass and then we'll just go to the theme park a bunch when we get back home after the trip. We never did. Ever. My $50 was spent for this day. Dude, the lines were fucking crazy that day. I went on one ride, and I stood in line for another. The only reason I stood in line is because my ride, he wanted to go on a ride before he left, and I didn't, so I just sat. With me and, we'll call this dude Donald. Me and Donald were cooling, sitting and waiting. Oh, the first ride. So, the first thing we tried was the Superman, and we were fucking bacon in that line. Like, it was so hot. People had their fucking tongues out. We were like dogs. Shit was crazy. Whenever we'd get into like shady spots, we'd like visibly have a smile on our face and be looking at the people with frowns in the sun. And when I was standing in this line, I don't know if it was just the acid or I was actually tweaking and people were just looking at me. I hope it wasn't that. But I would just be looking down or looking somewhere, and always out of the corner of my eye, I'd see somebody looking directly at me. Like, directly at me. They don't even need to be facing me. It's like their heads were turned towards me. It was a little bit freaky. And then when I'd look, I'd never be able to find it. So I think I was just seeing things. I always felt like everybody was looking at us though. Probably because we were a bunch of fucking idiots. But we get on it, and I make a little sly joke, quiet, to Michael. He was there still. I was like, dude, all the adrenaline from the fucking roller coaster, I'm gonna start tripping again. This is gonna be terrible. And he laughed. He was like, huh, yeah. And then we start getting to the top of the big ass hill, and the shit's going dun 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 dun, and I'm like, oh, we are really high up. And I noticed that when I started hearing the Superman theme song, it sounded like it was coming out of a fucking gramophone. Not because of the speakers, but because I was tweaking. I was actually correct. I made a joke, and it ended up becoming reality. Right when we hit the crest and we just started plummeting down, I literally started yelling, and then I had a huge view of the sky and then the whole park. And in the sky, I literally saw a couple shapes appear, spin, and disappear. And I was like, oh my lord, there's no way. That was the only time that something like that would happen. Like, with, like, shit just, like, distorting. There was a lot of times when I'd be sweating bad when I'd be walking. I don't know if there's any connection, but I felt like the hotter I got, the trippier shit got. Probably because I was getting delirious from being dehydrated on top of it. That whole trip was just fucking hell on my body. Don't do that. Don't do any of that. Except for go to the amusement park. That's probably fun to do. I wouldn't know. I go when I'm tripping sack. But yeah, as I was walking and I would start to get like real hot, people's faces as they're walking by, like one eye will be bigger than the other. And I'd like double take, look at them for a second and hope they didn't just notice that I did that. And I'd be like, no. Nope, just coming down still. And I actually did come down all the way. That was the day of the Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier fight, the one where Conor rolled his ankle. I said it in the last one too. It's just so convenient that that happened, so I have an exact date of when that took place. Because to tell you the truth, if it were up to me to remember the dates, I wouldn't remember that. I don't remember what day of the week that happened. I'd have to look it up right now. When we stopped and got food, of course we got robbed, completely robbed. Not at gunpoint, but almost. I paid like $25 fucking for a 6-piece tender and a fry and a drink. The whole time I was just grilling Alex, being like, yeah, that's $20 right there. He'd eat a fry, I'd be like, that's like 10 cents. Like, I'd just be trying to get him hot the whole time. It was hilarious. Take a sip of the drink, that's $1. But yeah, for the ride that we had to wait for, me and Donald were standing outside by the lockers. It was one of those rides where they had lockers to put your shit in while you're waiting in line and while you're on the ride. And we just said, all right, we'll meet you here after the ride. And they take literally like an hour 15. The ride is like being halted. And then police show up. I don't even know what happened. I don't know what the fuck. One of my friends said that that there were people farther ahead in line or farther back. I'm not sure which. Somebody, they were in line and they saw people just running thumpers. Like, people were swinging, windmilling, all that type of shit, kicking, and that's why the police got involved and they ejected them out. So that made the wait a little bit longer. After they got out of that ride, that was pretty much it. We walked back and everybody was checking on me. Dude, when I said in that other video that my friend pulled me aside and said, I've never seen you this fucked up, they were not lying. I'm not lying. Believe it. Hopefully we'll never get there again, because that shit was spooky. Oh yeah, I gotta add this, because looking back on the other video, there's a couple things that I didn't mention that I was seeing during the night. During the night, there was a lot of face morphing and shit going on. My friend who slept through his alarm, he has a beard, and whenever I'd look at him, it would look like his hair was normal on his head, but his beard, it looked like he was going through 90-mile-an-hour winds. Like, all of his beard hair was just flapping. Shit was weird. And his eyes were small. There was one, like, countertop that we'd all just stand at and look at, and we'd be pointing out visuals to each other, and we would actually be like, oh yeah, and what about this? Do you see this? Oh shit, yeah, I see that. I don't know how. I really don't. That goes hand in hand with the other thing I was mentioning, how we would just kind of look at each other. It was, like, in the same vein of that. There's definitely some other shit that I'm forgetting. But yeah, we went home and we drank for the fight, and Conor McGregor blew it by rolling his ankle, and the night was over. But the next morning when I woke up, I was completely normal. I remember too thinking to myself, thank God I didn't like ruin my brain. And then I started to recall everything. I was like, holy shit, this happened, and then what the fuck, this happened. And then I was sitting there reflecting and AFKing, thinking about how I thought I was dying. Dude, that was a crazy ass vacation. One of the top ones. I might start making videos about those vacations. We do them every year. Usually some shit goes down. Not always on this level, but shit always goes down. Anyways, this shit's getting long, and I gotta add up these numbers. I just put the tax shit down and I started talking to the microphone, and I gotta get back to this. So yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, all that shit. That's it.